Hello, everybody, and happy Wednesday. Let me do that. It's time. Yes, it is time for more 7th Citadel. I have my characters prepped, set up here, ready to go. I have my directions. Though I think I have my directions from the save. So, yeah. Literally, these two cards are just, hey, this is how you save and unsave. It's pretty self-explanatory. So, let's get down to the table. Or, actually not down to the table yet. I'm going to read some from Drums of Desolation. In search of Ambrosius. After returning from the vegetable gardens, where you had helped harvest bright squash, you go to your quarters to change your clothes. You have just pulled on a clean tunic over your head when a deafening noise reverberates outside. You rush out to see what happened. A section of the Citadel has just collapsed, taking some cells with it. Once the dust has settled, you inspect the rubble with a few members of the community. Luckily, there are no casualties. A month passes, during which you have had no time to reflect upon this event. After issuing morning instructions, you enter into a heated discussion to decide which project to focus on next. Just another day, like so many others at the Citadel. Suddenly, a powerful shock wave rocks the camp, accompanied by a dull thudding noise, like someone beating a giant drum with all their strength. You automatically think back to all the events that occurred at the time of the reversal, nearly one cycle ago, which destroyed the prison at the base of which you eventually settled. Fearing that the Citadel is about to collapse on them, the members of the community begin to scatter. It's only with great difficulty that you are able to restore order. 2 weeks have passed. And you've been hard at work repairing and reinforcing damaged buildings in case new tremors occur. Standing atop an unfinished wall, you notice some activity at the entrance of the camp. You climb down the ladder and join a group of roughly a dozen dust-covered strangers. A woman steps forward, her features drawn taut. We didn't know what state the Citadel was in. I'm glad so many people have managed to survive here. I need to speak whoever's in charge. That would be me, you answer, approaching. My name is Felia, and these are the survivors from our community, she says, gesturing to the desperate group of people behind her. Our hamlet was hit hard when the ground shook a couple weeks ago, not far from the ancient city of Stoneheap. Several of our people were killed, and our buildings damaged beyond repair. Ambrosius, our seismologist, suggested we go to the Citadel to look for ground shivers and shelter in its walls. He has a sharp mind. He detected the first 2 tremors that were almost imperceptible and predicted the third would cost us so dearly. He made a detour to Raptorwood to seek out the components he needs for the device he wants to build there. He hopes it will help him learn more about the tremors. You're welcome here. We can provide him with the ground shivers he needs. The days roll by. Ambrosius still has not appeared. One morning, Philia comes to you. I'm worried about Ambrosius. He should have reached the Citadel by now. Someone has to go find him. There are terrible forces at work, forces he cannot possibly imagine. Only he can stop him. Buck, bring me a ground shiver, would you? Your camp assistant emerges from the shed with a device, one of the very first necrodruic creations necro-druidic, capable of detecting the presence of burrowers. Without it, it'd be too risky to venture into the collapsing lands. And you are the one of the few who knows how it works. You pack up your meager belongings and give a few more instructions before heading out. Note, certain adventure cards are linked to a particular scenario. When a number is associated with the scenario picture, in this case footprints, we must take that one. Our primary goal is track down Embrises. Somewhere near Raptorwood in the southern part of the mire. Secondary, community morale. Tremors that shook the Citadel have destabilized the precious balance that was established since the reversal. When you read the epilogue, if you have fewer than 3 built buildings, the community morale will likely deteriorate. Well, if you remember correctly, 1, 2, 3, 4 built buildings. All right, we're doing well there. Secondary. Additional refugees come to help. Felia and the new refugees will help out in the various construction sites while you search for Embrises. However, Felia informs you if you take too long to return, she will send her own rescue party, depriving the camp of the extra hands. When you read the epilogue, make sure you have as many objective cards as possible. Do we have a task is done card? No. So, take 101, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are all, it says take them, these are all quest items, quest objectives 1 through 5. We want to have as many of those as possible. So let me go down to the table, kind of show you what I've done here. So, off here, we have quest items. I put all of them there in a stack. Now, looking at that additional refugees come to help, we want to, there's going to be certain things that we can probably find that are going to excuse me, that are going to lead us to something. So it was near the mire. We are here. And so somewhere down south and east of us, it looks like. That's where we want to go. For this scenario, our ground shiver is considered level 3. I'll explain what that means here and well as cards come out. Set the life counters to 0 and then back to 20. Shuffle the action decks and draw 2 cards to form the starting hands. We have Parry and Second Wind. And Second Wind allows us to pull back 5 cards. And then if I have selected a card with the weapon keyword, I can use 2 shields for defense. And I gave him classic 2 of the weapons from Arthyn. So over here for Arthyn, I'm going to grab 2 acrobatics and skillful. Return all Hope Reborn cards that were blocked. Remember to look at your side quests and cards in the world map and the effects of your buildings. So, effects of our buildings. Right now, just during the preparation phase, we get more stuff. So, by getting more stuff here, I want to pop over. I believe, yeah, so we're in the preparation phase. Had I not already filled in these marks here, I would then fill them in. So every preparation phase, we're going to generate more goods. So currently, we're going to generate 1 guard, 2 food, and 1 knowledge. We're going to want to get something for influence here soon. I don't have anything for influence that I do not. As much as I don't want to build the gallows, it seems gallows, humor, something. So then we put the card 75 into play and both figures on it. The bookmark goes into the book. Let's see, 75. The Citadel stands majestically before you. Across the distance that separates you from the camp, noises and the clamor of voices reach your ears. Clearly, there is some great activity over there. So, if I put it there, didn't give myself a ton of room. Let me zoom out just a touch. There. That will hopefully be enough. So I can spend time here at 77, or we're going to pull out these ones. And go from there. Let's see what happens. So these are going to connect along here. You know what? I'm not going to do 77 because I don't want to spend the time. I don't think that would get rid of one of my objectives, but I also don't want to risk it. So I could have them do this jointly together, either one of these. And so this would cost me 4 cards, which is a little hard to see. Wish I had... I'm curious. We're going to mess around with one thing real quick here. Hide that one. Oh, wrong one. There we go. I have a close-up. Woohoo! And then, if I mess around with that one, I also have a close-up of something. Arthan. Nice. So, because my ground shiver is level 3, this costs me nothing. I could, if I wanted to, take a card, but I don't want to. A young woman marches your direction. The bulky bag she is carrying bears the emblem of the chain. 3 hands, which are held by the wrist. Would you rather go on your way, discard, or read about this? So, one thing I haven't done yet, I'm not going to go fully into it. There are some words that already have come up that have this. I recommend the second video, the first of the Datacom story that Meet Me at the Table did. There is kind of a glossary of terms that you would know. So the chain, an organization established during the War of Worms. that delivers news, inquires about needs, and exchanges goods between different communities of the collapsing lands. Each of the members, Lynx, follows a well-defined route that they know perfectly well, and they travel by taking the singing lane or by using the ground shiver. So I'm not sure if we'll see the singing lane, but the singing lane is basically a pathway that you can go on that if worms show up, it will ring. It's built on stilts. But anyway, I want to go to 105. This isn't a sketchy person. I can spend a little time. Good day. You look familiar. I saw you the last time I was at the Citadel. Or what's left of it. Is everything right? All right. I don't know if you remember me. I'm Citadel, member of the chain. We connect people by bringing them letters, packages, and news. And there's plenty of news on the road between the garrison and the outer edges and Fort Cutthroat. If the involved characters have 2 or more cards with the keyword banter, no. Barter, wow. You want to barter, read 99. If you just want to make conversation, 144. If you are playing the scenario, nope, 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 nope. So there's a few different scenario symbols, since they kind of reuse it. I'm going to pull out the dice here. Then I'll roll 1. Number 1. So we go up to 500. One of the members of Kel's Council of 4 asked the chain to gather information about his son, who recently disappeared in the collapsing lands. His name is Hashem, and he must be about 20 cycles old. If you happen to meet him, tell him that his father is very worried, and that he has to return to the palace of Kel as soon as possible. So I'm going to actually grab out this. Is there a spot for notes? There's a spot for notes somewhere in here. I don't know that this is a side quest, but Shem. And then it was on 500. Return to the Palace of Kel. I just want to jot that down as a note so that I remember what's going on here. I see Hashem. Hopefully I'll remember that I wrote that note. This goes away. Drops into the past. And I'm taking out card 94. I'll do the check. There are multiple 94s. The plank's track winds through the desolate territory. Further north, a strange stone slab looms above the dusty ground. So, this is going to show us this singing road. I now can put out a 1, 1, and 1. Along here, there's one above me. I'm not going north, because remember from looking at the map, it looks like we want to be down here somewhere. What I meant to click was this one. And then we'll have Arthur take the lead on that movement. We get a lock-picking card. So she's at her max hand size. And then let's come down here. This one time, I'm not looking at anything. I'm trying to get to my area and get back out. Now, I do need to remember my secondary objective in here. My first secondary objective. And that's about having buildings built. So right now, I'm doing pretty good with that. This one gets flipped over. A jagged rock. So anybody can take this projectile. We'll pass it on to Arthur. So both of them have weapons. Then we're putting 108 down there. The path winds between two hilly areas colonized by what is probably hostile flora. Arriving from the east, you hear the echo of surf on the salty air. The great sea has expanded, finally earning the name that the Kellians gave it out of pride. And we'll spend a card to move. We got muscular. Some good things there. And oddly enough, I'm going to refer back to this map. So the Great Sea has expanded. We're at Valengard, or approximately. This it seems a little bit too close to start looking, but I'm going to actually pull out, set my keyboard aside, and pull out this secondary map. This is actually the bigger map. It's also going to be the reflective map. So it looks like we still want to go further south. Like they said, the Great Sea has expanded. So let's continue going further south. Ooh, but that's a 2. Do I want to go down into a 2? So the thing with the 2 down here. Oh, actually that's the same. Ground shiver, 3 or higher. Let's spend time to do an investigation over here. We'll have Arthen do that because she's more of a less combat than Kasich is. And so that just says take 112. We do have to explore some. We can't just blindly go about the whole time. There are 2 112s. Nothing has a symbol next to it. So, in that case, we shuffle up the 2 112s, take one of them, and flip it. The sea is rough, as it often is this season. You head along the shore and reach a beached boat. The oars nowhere to be seen. They must have been taken or hidden away by the owner to prevent anybody borrowing it. So we have an option to try and talk to somebody and spend some time and wait, but it's not what I'm here for. So we're going to look south here. So this guy comes out of nowhere and ambushes us. We have our first combat The stone grazes past your face. You soon find out where it comes from. So if we fail, it just automatically goes down. If we succeed, it doesn't. It is a chained one. We're going to have Tasik do it. I have a whole bunch of cards I can boost it with. I'm gonna bring out my axe. Let's see. Can I see this? Is this in shot? There we go. I flipped these out. I only got one fist, but I can add one to my chain, which fortunately, oh, that will give me 3. So that gives me 3. He takes a damage, so he's at 19. I roll a die. The axe is broken. It's unfortunate. I like that +1 to the chain. Now we discard this. It's been taken care of. I don't have to fight both parts because I was able to get into it, or beat it. I'm actually kind of glad that worked out well. I'm glad it didn't bounce down any further. The map itself is going. Let's look at card number 84. There's an 85. Only one 84. Tall trees line the path beyond, which lies a meadow that with thorny shrubs and brush. I don't have to go on to here immediately. Might be better to take this route around. Do have a couple more 2s over here. And I need to remember, like, we're looking for this symbol anywhere. So I don't see it. Just quickly looking at it, this anywhere. I'd be surprised if it was anywhere so close to me. But I thought of it because I saw a little bird up there. Now, we're just going straight down here. I'll cost Arthur card. Anticipation. Allows you to shuffle a card back in. I'm not going to put it in my hand. Let's just go down here. A brown patch of vegetation catches your eye. As you push aside the branches, you discover a large mantelet bearing the arms of Kel. Mounted on a wooden platform, this huge wooden panel with holes protected the crossbowman from underground attacks. Unfortunately, its wheels are too damaged to move. If you would rather go on your way, discard this. So, we could block a card with Artisan. I have a trinket, a projectile, and a weapon, so not doesn't help me. I don't have anything that says artisan. Or we could do a blacksmithing. Three cards to get 6 successes. This, unfortunately, is just getting discarded. 197. Well, there's one with a symbol, but not our symbol. Numerous tombstones overlook the mire. Strange to find them so far from civilization. And we have what I'm assuming is our travel symbol. Our travel symbol requires +2 draw. So we will maneuver off of that one when we can. But I'm going to spend a little bit of time here because this seems like a fairly likely spot that we want to be, because these new spots require a ground shiver of level 5. We don't have that, so it seems like we want to be here-ish. And this is all based off of the map that says the mire should be south of us. And I'm not seeing the other things mentioned. Around me. If I were to see one of them, I'd be real annoyed. So, we're going to start by interacting with 177. We're going to send both of them to do that. The risk is it's something that both of them will have to do. 177. We don't have one with our symbol. You stroll through the cemetery, surprised to discover it relatively well preserved. It is rare to find them untouched by the Necrodruid's henchmen, who used to steal corpses from graves and labeling their master to shape their monstrosities. You notice a curious detail. The same family name is engraved on many of the headstones. A voice startles you. A man about 40 cycles old emerges suddenly from among the gravestones. Read 257. 275. You know, the other 257. 275 here. Have you come to visit a lost one? No, don't be afraid. I'm Gyron, the keeper of the graves. I wager you weren't expecting to find a cemetery in such a remote place. Burial's an old custom, almost forgotten today, except for the nobles, like us, who still practice it. Restoring this very old, very forgotten cemetery cost my grandfather a lot of work and tears. Yes, many tears. It was no easy task to transport the bodies of our family, decimated when the burrowers caused the ground to swallow Valengard. Grandfather told me many stories about the time that will stay with me forever. And as he and my fathers are buried here, I will maintain the family necropolis to keep it safe from the Necrodruids and their cursed plants. So we just returned that because we are not high enough for that. So there's nothing else for me to really do on here. I'm going to have to spend 3 cards to get off of here. Let's do that. Go up here. Even though Arthur is just tagging along, still costs cards. You know, that's just a success. Let's swap out our parry. And we're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards for Kasich. Back. We're going to block Second Wind. That one is gone. And then it also says choose one card from the discard pile to add to my hand. Intuition or anticipation. Let's do anticipation. Allows me to potentially shuffle another card back in. So now that I'm up here, I didn't look at 261. Let's look at 261. That requires 2 cards. Kasich. 261. Ugh. A dozen or so sheep are scattered about, grazing. These ruminating animals have found something here to satisfy their insatiable appetites. If only you could take them back to the Citadel. So I don't have to do anything with them. I'm not going to right now. Let's pop over this way. See what we have. Fatigue overcomes you. You stop for a moment to breathe and take stock. One character must do 3 cards. Arthen. Sorry. During the following action, the active player is whoever revealed this. During the draw step, you may not draw more than 3 cards. 3 cards for 2 successes. There is a negative. So, Arthen, 3 cards, 2 successes. There's no limit on it, so I can use then all 3 of these to complete it. Now is not the time to be disheartened. If I had 2 flags, I don't think I had any. No flags. Add 3, and then you may choose 1 card in your action deck or discard pile and add it to your hand. Do I have a Second Wind or something like that in here? Determination. I do have Second Wind. We're going to add that to the hand. Sorry, lock picking. Because then we're going to use that, because that's quite a number of cards from the life pile. Over there, we're going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back. And I can pick one over here. I'm going to take Improvise. That allows me situations where things require only, or limit the number of cards you can have. That's +1 to that limit. Improvise. That goes away. And 185. I'm like, did I head off in completely the wrong direction? I don't think so. It looks like you have to step over a narrow precipice in some places to reach the next plateau. Luckily, the vegetation is sparse enough not to hinder your movements. Yeah, like I'm thinking I'm supposed to go this way. You can't see, but up top that way. Vanguard. Yeah, I'm like double down on looking around here. As far as I can tell, I just need to go south. But I can't anymore. So maybe here? So I guess we spend a card for stealth go away, and then let's do 227. $227. Got two of them. Oh boy. Come across a wild boar. So 2 or more cards, only 2 cards allowed in the chain. Classic. We're going 3 cards. We're going to bring out the hoe here. Yeah, 3 cards. Ow. Only do 2 in the chain. Muscular doesn't help in the situation of a combat. It's unfortunate. So, I do have to roll here. That stays. He takes 2 damage. Nice thing is this one progresses pretty quickly because it just says advance. So now it's a 2 for 2 that we have to take care of. Set those aside. We're going to keep him in there. We're just going to draw, we're going to draw 3 again. And my chain can only be 2. But if I do that, that takes care of it. I'm at 3. Actually, I should have only drawn 2 cards. I don't remember which order those were in because I forget my hoe gives me an automatic success. So Jack of all trades gives me 1. The hoe gives me another. It's a 6. That hoe stays around. This advances down here. I can only have 1 card in my lineup. I'm going to draw 4. Use the hoe. And all I need is 1 with a star. Because I then have determination, which gives me an auto success. So 1, 2, 3. Fortunately, it doesn't say keep anything. So now we just take a 99 card. 99 card, Hope is Reborn. So you can use that to heal if you want. But that guy has been defeated. Where the hell am I supposed to go now? I guess up? That was a